This is Record Royale, where we throw two albums into the ring with one another and see which one comes out on top.
What would you say the best skate park you've ever been to is, bro?
That one in Canberra when we went, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one's
Falcon
sick.
and whatever.
There's a real good half. There's a real good half pipe in Broken Hill. Don't know if you guys have ever been. To.
Have you been to Broken Hill, Cody? I've been to Broken Hill as well.
I
feel
actually haven't. I was just taking the piss.
Oh, really? Fuck, you got me. Because I've never met another soul who's been to Broken Hill.
When did you go to Broken Hill, Brad?
For AFL, like in like year 6.
What? What, like a school
My
comp?
goodness.
Or
Like a carnival. It was like the PWSA, like, you know, Polding and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I was in like the public school version.
Yeah,
We
right.
went to
For
Broken
Hunter.
Hill for footy. Yeah, I was at Hannah.
Hannah.
Hannah Wolves.
And you played at Broken Hill. That is weird as.
It was so sick. It is so cool out there. It's like a wasteland.
Is that an AFL? Is that an AFL town?
Well, it's like, yeah, it's more that than
Rugby league.
anything else. Because it's closest to like Adelaide.
Rugby league.
Rugby league.
Because when I did Polding, I went to Lismore for cricket. And
Mad.
that was like, just like everything you'd expect Lismore to be. I swear, Lismore, Bathurst, Orange, they're all the same. All those country towns, they look exactly the same. Adam, they
Ease
do
up.
though. They all,
Ease up,
because there's just like those one street, and you all have to do like the parallel park,
Yeah, that's
and there's a roundabout at every 100 meters.
Oh my
exactly-
goodness!
basically
You just
the
described
only thing-
Kuma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The only thing that differentiates like each town
And Byron Bay.
is usually just like how many like drug addicts you can see visibly. So I just get sometimes there's like the main street is sketchier than the next town's main street, but that's the only real difference.
Tamworth is the same. It has the main street, but that has a nice main street. But you better believe you have to parallel park on that main street.
Oh yeah.
Have to.
Like
Yeah.
every single other one. So funny. Every country town.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a documentary suggestion. That's not the right word. Suggestion? No. Documentary. Something you should watch. Okay, so
A suggestion.
have you heard of McMillions, the documentary? Like, it was a 6-part series. So never heard about this, but Macca's Monopoly.
Oh
in-
yeah. I saw
yeah.
the trailer for this. Yeah.
Yeah. So like in America in the 90s, and it ended in 2001. The Macca's Monopoly was like not rigged, but one of the dudes who worked for the marketing company stole all like the $1 million winners and gave them to people. So like for like 12 years. Anyway, he went to jail. $24 million in prizes that he stole and gave to people and stuff.
So
It was like this 6-part documentary series, and like
A
the
Robin
FBI.
Hood.
That sounds really good.
The real Robin.
It was it was pretty good. It got like a bit like not boring, but I liked it when it was more about like them actually cracking the case, and then it got into like all the winners' stories and stuff, and I was like, I don't really care about them, but it was pretty cool. McMillions.
Nice.
I think Mark Wahlberg was an executive producer. Pretty
man.
rare.
Is it on Netflix?
No,
Marky
it's a
Mark.
HBO series, but if you just illegally look up watch McMillions free online
don't condone that
full
on this
series,
podcast.
it's like the second link.
Shout out to Put Locker.
Yeah, Daily Motion.
1, 2, 3 movies. And all that. They do good work.
Yeah.
So good.
Sponsor us.
A to Z movies
Uh,
as well.
uh,
That's
Oh
another
yeah.
know
one.
about that one.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have Netflix. I'm not poor.
yeah, but you can't get everything on Netflix.
No, you can't. Stan used to be good, but now they got rid of all like Star Wars, Marvel movies and stuff because Disney.
All
held
that's
their own
on.
one.
Yeah, Disney Plus has got fucking everything. Where's Harry Potter gone?
Disney Plus
Harry
for real.
Potter's just vanished off the face of the streaming universe.
They probably did it because J.K. Rowling's recent.
Yeah, probably. She opens her
honest,
mouth
hey?
and all the streaming stuff's like, fuck your movies, gross.
Yeah, she's cooking it exponentially.
Yeah, big time. And she keeps digging herself a bigger hole.
Yeah,
God,
she
yeah.
needs to stop.
Some people just need to get off like Twitter. Like there's no real point. Like she doesn't need any further publicity.
No.
Really.
Yeah.
She could have rode off into the sunset.
She could have
10 years
disappeared
ago.
in 2007 and be like, yeah, I'm still set for
Easily.
life.
And if she ever wanted to do any other work, she could do it with no marketing, and it would be
Literally.
fine.
She's got enough name value.
Exactly.
She does not need Twitter. Eh?
No, doesn't need
Definitely
it.
doesn't need Twitter.
There is a lot of
publicist-
people that do not need Twitter.
Her
Like,
publicist needs to just cut her off.
Not me, but
the president of the United States, I don't think he needs Twitter.
No,
He
definitely
doesn't
not.
need Twitter, but there's a lot of crazy people out there that love his Twitter. So
Oh, you go on one of his tweets and it's just like sheep, just everywhere. It's like,
like Twitter trying to
yeah,
monitor
yeah, that's
all he's
crazy.
doing, and he's just trying to he signed some executive order recently trying to make it so that he can just say whatever he wants on Twitter. I don't really understand. Can't they just say no, it's ours?
No, you can't.
You're not the boss of our company. Buddy.
Is that because he got fact checked? And so
Yeah, but it's like on every tweet he does, they'll either put a fact check or they'll say this tweet incites violence. Just be advised before you read it.
wow,
Something like that. Yeah.
that's hilarious.
So funny. Twitter v. Donald
Crazy
Trump.
man. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So good.
Ooh,
Hey, thanks for checking in for another episode of Record Royale. We're up to 12 episodes now, baby. That's 3 months. That's crazy.
Woo!
And
Wowza.
this voice that you've heard, you're thinking, who's that fourth voice? Actually, you're probably not. You've probably read the title. We got Cody, singing guitarist and down for tomorrow. Hey, Cody.
Hello, how are you?
How you going, bud?
Welcome.
Yeah, we're bloody good. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, that's all good. The 2 albums you've chosen, I was pretty stoked when you chose these.
Oh man, I had to choose stuff
Yeah,
that I'd have to dig out from a nostalgia bank and just, man, I could talk forever about these 2 albums. So I'm excited.
Well, brilliant.
Yes.
All you have to do is talk about 50 minutes and you're sweet. Why'd you choose these 2? I know I've heard that you're a big Green Day guy. I mean, you got it for those who can't see, which is everyone. You have a Green Day shirt on. I saw a Green Day poster in the background there.
And it's the exact same album. It's both Dookie, so there you go.
Did you get them at the same time? Was it a combo
no,
pack?
the shirt was a gift from my girlfriend actually, and the
Oh,
flag
lovely.
I got when I was in Melbourne for the first time at the 2400 warehouse.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, true. No.
Mad.
I've never been there. Whereabouts in Melbourne is it?
Richmond, but it's closed down now,
True.
Oh.
Yeah.
sadly.
Oh, right.
They still do it online though and stuff.
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
they?
they've still got an online store. They just don't let people come into their store anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, and
Fair
what about Blink? Is that? I mean, everyone's listened to Blink. But
Blink.
Is that like a
I
big one for you as
remember
well?
like one of the first times I saw What's My Age Again on the TV, and I was just like, oh, this is awesome. They're naked, and so I just went and listened to all their music. And Enema of the State in particular was an album that I've just drowned myself in year 6 and year 7, and so I figured it's both bands' best albums from the 90s going head to head against each other. So I figured that would be a good pair up.
Yeah, definitely.
It is a
works.
good
It's a
pair
great
up.
pair up.
It's also the 2 albums that launched them into the mainstream.
Yeah, both albums
I mean,
launched both bands.
Yeah. I guess Blink were getting there with Dammit off Dude Ranch, but this album was the one. It is
Yeah,
the
exactly.
album for Blink in terms of that.
God, yeah.
Before we get into the albums though, you guys just put out a brand new kick-ass song, Until You Feel Alright. Hell yeah, hell yeah. How'd that one come about? Has that one been in the works for a while, or is that recently recorded new
So
one?
I actually wrote that song back in September. We just finished the main show, and my ex-girlfriend at the time decided to, instead of letting me soak in all my glory of playing at the Metro Theatre supporting the main, she decided to come up to me and pretty much tell me for about 15 minutes why I made her feel the way that she feels, and I was just rooted to the spot being like, wow, I was not prepared for this at all. I don't know how to respond or how to comfort you or anything, and so I did what any self-respecting bloke would do and went home and wrote a song about it, and now it's out. And yeah, so basically it's about not knowing how to be there for someone in a given time.
Yeah, sick. It's definitely would you say it's your most anthemic song? The chorus is so large and there's those massive harmonies. Do you do the harmonies, or is that
Henry does the
the
harmonies
bass
actually.
Oh, really?
Henry does these harmonies. We literally envisioned an entire mosh floor just bouncing when we heard that chorus played back for the first time in the speakers. Henry and I just looked at each other, we were just that when that gets played live, people are gonna fucking love it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You think that all
Up
the
and
time,
down.
of course.
Yeah.
Up, down. Speaking of playing live, before like the lockdown, did you have many show plans? Like, many plans get scrapped?
We had a tour lined up in April and May, but yeah, that had to get scrapped, and now we're trying to figure out how to either postpone it or whether we just try and book different shows. Our booking agent's onto it. We're going to try and work out what the go is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's. I'm imagining it would be pretty
Very
hard
tough.
to kind of map things out at the moment.
Very much so, but
A lot
we're
of
working through it.
uncertainty.
It's an obstacle that we are going to overcome eventually. So our management just said, just keep pumping out music and, keep the online interaction up. And when shows come back, surely they'll just book themselves.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
good to hear.
I said this a few weeks ago. I was like, surely there'll just be a show every single night of the week. Like $10, everyone will pay. Everyone's going to be going.
I might
to
move to
shows.
Sydney.
Dead
Hey.
set.
Just
Man, there
You'd
was a
hope so,
period
anyway.
last year where, like, for about 3 to 4 months on end, nearly like 3 or 4 times a week I was out going to shows. It was crazy. And now, it feels weird. Like, the last show we played was February 28th in Melbourne.
Yeah, wow. February.
Should-
That's like 5 months ago already.
should end up being pretty good for Australian music, I think, in the end. Like when it all comes back, because
Especially for smaller bands and stuff.
yeah, but like no
show.
no international acts coming over. There's going to be a lot more room for Australian bands to step up, I think.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Well, it's like what Falls
Especially
are planning
at your
to do.
local as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if Falls will end up going ahead, but they were planning to do all Australian lineup, which is pretty cool. Hopefully everything works out. Hopefully by like the end of the year, things are back, rock and rolling.
Yeah.
Speaking
Let's
of rock and rolling, let's get into these albums. I say, what a brilliant segue that was. All right, let's kick it off. Let's do Dookie.
Done well.
It's pronounced Dookie, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
classic.
What else would you? What's the alternative? Dookie.
Dookie.
Docky.
Dookie. Is that what you thought?
Dookie.
I
No,
don't-
obviously I thought it was Dookie, but I just wanted to double check because come on, like Dookie.
Doing
Classic.
a big old
Oh, that's
Dookie
how
on-
I've been saying it my whole life. Dookie.
Yeah.
Big old Dookie in my track pants. All right, cool. Green Day. They're from East Bay, California.
Yes.
They formed in 1986. Man, that is
That's
they want to
crazy.
start when they were like 14. Is that correct? 14?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
Billy Joe
seen-
was.
Have you seen videos of them playing at their high school?
Yes, I have actually.
They like
It's
played
hilarious.
in their like for their, I guess their like courtyard thing. I guess the quad in front of the whole school. It's
Yeah,
hectic.
that's when their old
they
their
good?
old lefty drummer was still in the band.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sick
Oh,
vid.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they rock back
yeah,
then?
so
Or
when
what?
this album's released, and still are, Billy Joe Armstrong, Mike Dirnt, and Trey Cool, the best name in music, were Green Day. So Dookie was their third studio album, I believe. I think there was something like that was they had a release before it. Oh no, this is Blink, where like we'll get to Blink in a sec, but do you count Buddha as a release, or is it just Cheshire Cat, Dude Ranch, Enema?
I think you
I
count
swear
it as a release.
Buddha was like a.
Yeah.
I thought Buddha was like a
mixture
compilation
of-
album.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's, I usually count. I just say Cheshire Cat. Anyway, we're talking about Green Day. Released on February 1st, 94 by Reprise Records. It was produced by Rob Cavallo, who did all of Green Day's albums after this, besides their last two. And I have not listened to their last two albums. Cody, have you listened to their most recent album?
Yes, I've listened to all Green Day's albums.
What are your
What's
thoughts
your
on it?
thoughts?
Because like the marketing for that last album was like,
The
come on,
marketing
like,
was
come
pretty
on, buddy.
questionable. Yeah, it was a bit like, what are you guys doing? Stop.
They've
But
lost
look,
the
the
plot.
music's all right. I just think their marketing for the last album was a bit wrong in my eyes. Revolution Radio,
That-
I enjoyed that album. Whereas this new one is like, first listen, oh cool. Second listen was just like, nah, I'm a bit done with it now. Honestly, I think I'll be completely honest. The last time I felt really good about a Green Day album was 21st Century Breakdown, and I was like in year 6 when that came out, and I absolutely loved it. And I think anything post that has just been the slightest bit underwhelming. Like, but then again, it's so hard to follow up on 2 albums back to back, like American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown, that are both
Crazy.
like 70-minute
Grammy
long
Award
rock
winnings.
operas that have
Yeah.
stories. Yeah, they won awards.
Yeah.
They won so many things. Like that 21st Century
you can't go
Breakdown
back from
tour.
that, can you?
No,
I think-
no, you sadly can't.
I don't think punk
Yeah.
music really like doesn't translate well once you're old and rich. Like you can't. I can't think of a good punk band or pop punk band that is still good after like 20, 30 years. Once you lose that like kind of angsty part and you can't appeal to teenagers, basically, it just doesn't resonate. Same with Blink. Like Blink, all of Blink's latest stuff is trash. So,
I think that's kind of the idea that My Chemical Romance got. I think they kind of realised, hey, I think we've got too good, we've hit our peak. Yeah. Soon this isn't going to resonate anymore, so they just kind of call it quits.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then a lot of bands like they changed their genre, like Paramore did, but I back Paramore's kind of.
But that was sick though.
Shift.
They shifted
they
into
did it
like
well.
and like kind of shifted
and they're not
with their
that old
audience.
yet.
That's true. Yeah, they're not too old. But like even bands from the mid 2000s, like Panic and Fall Out Boy, have completely changed their genre, and they're nothing like what they were 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And Blink hasn't changed, and to me it hasn't resonated very well.
No.
When are we doing 9 versus Father of All?
9 versus Father
Dog.
of All.
Dude, please don't put us through that.
Average Orange Helms. Cool.
I'll make it through the week.
I bought 9 for Henry for Christmas on vinyl, and the look on his face. I mean, it was money. It was money well
crazy.
spent, but he was just like, "What are you doing?" It's got like 3 good songs on it, but I couldn't bear to listen to that album in full again.
The thing with the new Blink is, I don't know, I haven't listened to 9 that much, but on California, the amount of whoa and like whoa, the whole album is just whoas. That's every melody. Anyway, let's continue. Green Day, Dookie had 5 singles. They were all released after the album was released, though. So Longview was the first one. Was nominated for Best Hard Rock Performance at the Grammys. Basket Case, nominated for Best Rock Vocal Performance by a duo or group at the Grammys. Welcome to Paradise. When I Come Around, was their second best selling single of the 90s. Behind Time of Your Life. So that was like
mad.
Did heaps well with his album. And then She was the last single. The album peaked at number 2 in the States. 1 in Australia, of course, because Cody, we've said it before on the show.
I wasn't even alive then.
But every single album that we do on this show just does better in Australia than anywhere else. And also got number 1 in New Zealand and 13 in the UK. It won the Grammy Award for Best Alternative Album. And it was Kerrang Magazine's second best pop punk album ever. Number 1, though, was Enema of the State, according to Kerrang. There you go.
Who's this? Sorry, who said that?
Kerrang. It's I think they're a UK. If I'm wrong, just put a big burn. But yeah, and the album sold over 20 million copies worldwide. Probably way more than that now.
I saw a lot of lists actually, like so every time I would look it up, just to look up like little facts and stuff. For either album, they were always the top 2 in like everyone's pop punk playlist, like top 10 list.
90s.
And it was always those 2 just like rotating.
They're different breeds of pop punk, but they both did like the same thing for the genre, just like catapulted it. Yeah. Just in different, like 5 years apart. Cool. Let's do Enema of the State. So, Blink formed in '92. They're from San Diego, California. Tom DeLonge, Mark Hoppus, Travis Barker. This was his first album with the band. Scott Rayner was the drummer before this. He got kicked out of the band. When he got kicked out, though, he was only 19. So, like, he was recording their first albums when he was about 14, 15 as well. So this is their 3rd studio album, if you don't count Buddha. Released on June 1st, 1999. It was produced by Jerry Finn. Now, he mixed Dookie. He mixed the Living End debut album. He did produce Sum 41, All Killer No Filler. And he did Blink's album after this, but he actually died in 2008, I believe. So he didn't get... That was like one of the reasons that Blink got back together. It was that and Travis Barker's plane crash.
True.
So we're like, they wanted to be around each other again. So
yeah, right.
Pretty sad, but, things happen from that. And then, so 3 singles. First one, What's My Age Again, which actually didn't like chart that well, but the music video was massive. And then All the Small Things... that did pretty well, and that video was also massive. And then Adam's Song was the last single. So the album peaked at number 9 in the States, 4 here, and 15 in the UK. It was Rolling Stone's second best pop punk album of all time, and as I said, Kerrang's best pop punk album ever. And it sold 15 million copies worldwide over that. So both albums did incredibly well, like in terms of charts and like legacy as well. Like these are 20, 25 years old, and we're still talking about them as the best pop punk albums ever. But they're both like pretty different. I think it's a good time to get into
the elements.
But they're pretty different in terms of sound, song structure. But at the same time, I think they both relate to like a situation, and the lyrics are very relatable to someone in their youth, I think.
Oh God, yeah. That's the best thing going for it, I think.
Yeah, like both albums. Like Blink's is all about, you know, your college years, even though they would have been like 25, 28 when they wrote it. But it's all about like being in your young 20s. And then Green Day's is kind of all about like when you're just like moving out and like your stuff's happening in your life that like you're big changes in it. And
I found I was
not ready for
more able to resonate with the Green Day's lyrics, I think. Blink's lyrics, probably because I didn't listen to Blink like much as a teenager. Like I've only really listened to it in later years, and some of the jokes and stuff do fall a little flat for me. Probably just because it's like I don't know. I'd say, what am I thinking? Dysentery Gary, and like the party song, just kind of. I didn't find all that funny, I'd say.
Yeah, but they're just like obviously like taking the piss. And like,
they are, but I just didn't find it like... I think if I listened to it as a teenager, I would find it funny, but I just... Yeah. Whereas the Green Day stuff, I definitely could... Yeah, I think the lyrics were better for me on the Green Day album, I'd say. Okay.
I mean, you're probably right. They're probably better lyrics, but I love like the whole playfulness of the Blink album.
Yeah,
like,
same.
They still had like some cut through meaningful lyrics, but like I love the funny. I actually wrote down some lyrics from Dysentery Gary. I hate you all. Your mum's a whore. Where's my dog? Cause girls are such a drag. And then from Mutt, the song Mutt, I think it's the 8th song. White lies, bloodshot eyes, breath of alcohol, stole it from the mall. How's Chris marked with lipstick? Actually, it might not be from Mutt, but anyway, just like. That the like stealing alcohol, just like they're so like cheesy, but they just sum up cheeky. Like that time in your life, kind of. I think for me. Anyway.
Well, that's what I mean. I think if I listened to them as a teenager, I might have that same feeling for them, but listening to them brand new as an adult, you're just like too easy.
Wait, so did you not?
I'd never listened to Blink as a teenager ever until
when did you?
Damn.
When did you listen to them? This
like,
week?
No, like when I started in Split Feed, probably because you guys were obsessed with it. But and even then I was like, I don't get it. But Green Day, I probably more actually because I did listen to Green Day as a teenager, so I do have that connection to it. I think.
Sure. I think both albums go about similar themes in a different way. Like if you look at Dookie's lyrics, they're basically glorifying being a loser. Like I remember seeing this video of them introducing the music video for Longview to MTV, and Billy Joe goes, "There's nothing wrong with being a loser. It just depends on how good you are at it." And I think a lot of the lyrics throughout that album just tackle, you know, like the loser side of college and moving out and growing up. You know, people who sit around getting stoned, wasting their time, and who have paranoia, like, you know, panic attacks. They dive into that. Whereas Blink-182, same kind of stuff, but they glorify the party/drunken elements of it, like, and the love and romance affair, while still throwing comedy into it. So they kind of make all that stuff seem funny. I guess that's why their music goes so well with like 90s and 2000s rom-com plots. Like, you know, you got your American Pie and like that. And a lot of, I think Green Day's later music got into American Pie, but yeah. So Dookie's kind of like the loser album, and Enema's like the party album, pretty much.
Yeah. No, that's really...
I think Enema states, it's more about just like having fun with it as well. Yeah, I think, rather than like
not taking yourself
dragging
too seriously
on the negatives. Which they obviously don't take themselves too seriously.
Hey, Blink at Cody. Have you ever watched Blink's Big Day Out 2000 performance?
Man, when you go to I feel like back in the day, if you went to watch Blink, you didn't go to see them play music. You went to just hear their stage banter. And I think that's what their shows
Went for
mainly
the
were. It's
jokes.
like 80% stage banter, tits, and like fucking dogs and stuff. And then then they would play. And then you get Green Day, who would play a show, and you'd get something that sounds almost exactly identical to the album.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Green Day Jaded in Chicago in 1994, that live set is one of the best live sets I've seen them play.
I've seen that as well. It's crazy.
Brilliant live set.
All their early sets were absolutely
So tight.
psycho.
They are so tight. Green Day.
Maybe it is the Chicago one, and they're like indoors in this like pretty tiny little place. Like you can see the roof over the top of Billy. Is that the same? The Chicago
I think
one?
so. Yeah.
And there's just like it looks so sweaty in there, but in the best way.
It looks brilliant.
Yeah, it's playing everything like 3 times faster than usual.
But yet they're
lifting
still
through it.
just like there is no margin of error. They're all so in sync, and I love watching Trey play drums. He's literally he doesn't
He's
even
a
move.
robot.
The only part of his body that moves
Yeah.
are
He's
his
a
feet
robot.
and his hands.
Yeah.
And then
he is a cyborg.
Both bands are lucky to have such incredible punk drummers. Like Trey Cool can keep a beat without even batting an eye. Like he doesn't even have to think about it. He's
doesn't
just doing
blink.
it. And then Travis
He's a
Barker,
bot.
whose arm speed is just ridiculous. Like his flow is incredible. Both bands have such great drummers.
Yeah.
Travis Barker is like his drumming is basically another melody to like every song.
Basically,
Like Like
And I
in
think
Adam's song,
I'd say
I sing the drum part in that song. Like I barely even sing the lyrics. Like
Facts.
sometimes, I think you could say sometimes he overplays himself a bit. On this album, on the later albums, I think it's like
I would agree with
to
that.
a T. But on this album, it's like especially in the chorus of Adam's song, it's just like chaotic. It's like, come on, man,
Exactly.
just like
Man.
just
Exactly.
hit it on beat. But
It kind of sounds like
I was about to say
it
that.
kind of sometimes sounds like you know when you see a drum cover on YouTube of something and they just add in like 1,000 more fills, or actually like Travis Barker's specifically his cover videos of other people's songs. It's just like all fill. Sometimes it sounds like that, but I like it. He's kind of like
Travis
the
Barker's
last super good like rock star drummer, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys
drum
ever
hero.
read his biography. He he recalls the time where he joined Blink-182 and how the band he was in before, they were just like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're a really good drummer. Don't go off with those idiots." And you know, he didn't listen because he was going to earn more money with Blink, even though
Wasn't
he was
he-
an incredible drummer. And he basically boosted and carried that band's next 3 records.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was a gun in the studio too. Like, you know, Tom and Mark would take about 6 months to get stuff done, and Travis would have his parts down in a week.
I remember reading something or listening to Tom saying that when he joined the band, Travis, he was like, oh, so you can like play something and I could play around you instead of me just telling you what to play. Like he was like playing off what the drums were doing, and he said it completely changed their writing process.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Good.
Travis is a huge asset to Blink around that time. Huge.
Yeah.
Oh, he makes the band. Like
Absolutely.
I don't know if this
Yeah.
album would have been as big if it was Scott Rayner on the drums.
No.
No, I don't think that, dude. There wouldn't have been an Enema of the State if it had been Scott on the drums. It would have been another Dude Ranch, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the songs, lyrically, guitars, bass, they're very, very similar to the Dude Ranch songs, like Dumpweed, Don't Leave Me, even Aliens Exist. But when you add those different drumming in, it just takes to the next level.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are the same. Like God,
The
man,
drums
I
on
love Dumpweed so
the
much.
drums on Dumpweed is so good.
That opener is
Got a
just
few.
like boom,
So
just sums
good.
up the album.
Do you reckon Dumpweed
Yeah,
would
exactly.
be? I don't think that song would be allowed anymore. There's
Probably
Yeah,
not.
probably
I think
not.
there's
Pretty
a lot of
questionable.
songs on Enema of the State that wouldn't be allowed anymore.
There's some pretty questionable, there's some pretty straight sexist lines on this album.
I need a
Which
girl
are-
that I can train.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yikes.
yeah. He
That don't fly.
he refers girls to dogs a few times. I found through it, which is kind of rough to listen to. Which actually is different to Green Day's album. She is like a straight feminist song, which is like pretty crazy for a '90s pop punk male band to do. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Seems like they were ahead of the curve with Green Day.
They were,
From that.
yeah.
from that
they definitely were.
Yeah.
I like that about them is they didn't have to go down the super cheesy, route.
No,
that
Green
Blink
Day
did.
didn't have to try hard or anything. They just did what they felt like doing, and it worked, and it resonated. Like, Basket Case, to me, Basket Case is the most resonant and recognizable angst-fueled punk song in history. Like, that opening line, do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once?
Yeah.
Like, if you ask anybody who grew up in the 90s if they can relate to that, they'll most likely say, yes, I can.
Yeah.
Both albums, I mean, Dookie especially, are very, like, authentic. Like, especially Green Day. Like, there's no bullshit on this album.
Yeah.
Where Blink,
It makes
because
it
of their
age better.
personas, are so, like, if you know who Blink are, it also makes Enema incredibly authentic, because it's just like, they just don't care. They did not care. And it made them incredibly famous and wealthy, them being idiots.
Funny, both bands have their own elements of not caring.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Green Day's just like, I don't care. Blink's like, I don't care!
Yeah. It's a bit louder about it. Yeah.
That's so good. I'd say what I noticed heaps, especially on this album, like, you notice on American Idiot, but Mike Dirnt harmonies, they're dope.
Yeah, I was going to
Mike's
say...
harmonies are inspiring.
He is, like, my favourite aspect of that whole album. Like, all his bass lines as well.
Yeah.
Like, Longview, obviously, is, like, maybe the most iconic punk bass line.
I think it would be. It would have to be.
And it's so good. But, like, I think that might be my favourite track, just for that, and also just, like, all the harmonies as well. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It stands
So good.
out. Like, a lot of the time on the album is bass lines where the guitar's just playing like chords. He'll play like a little riff, whereas on
because
on
there's
Blink's,
not many
on Blink's Mark Hoppus, he just plays his driving bass the whole album, which is super sick as well. But so they're different in bass takes, but they're both like really drive both albums.
I'd say the guitar is more impressive on the Blink album, and
for sure,
the bass is definitely the better aspect on the Green Day.
That's probably
album.
like my only qualm with the Green Day album. I've been listening to this album for like 10 years, and I still don't know which song is which for a few of them until the lyrics come in.
at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair
because-
enough.
Because like, okay, the intro of Chump and Eminius Sleepus, is that how you pronounce it? Eminius Sleepus? They're the same.
Pretty much the same.
It's just like different times. So like, I didn't know which one's which, and like, I love the songs. Like, the vocal melody's like next level, but you know, I'm still getting mixed up with some songs because there's not as much variation in the music.
I did find that. I found that a little bit on Blink's album as well, though. Like, not as bad, but there's a few tracks on there, like Don't Leave Me, and some of the just like lesser known tracks that I couldn't, like, if you asked me to recite them, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I've just got to go off the notes, just because they're just similar thing. It's just like crazy drums from Travis, like Trace, and then maybe a different guitar lead, but pretty similar.
I personally, I can't agree because I've listened to it for so long. But in terms of the song structure on the Blink songs, Blink album, they're all the same. Like, the bridge is just like a build up for the next chorus kind of thing for like most of the songs. So I get what you're saying there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
structure point.
But the Green Day one, it's just like, I would have liked some bit more variation, please, sir.
I really like how Billy Joe's, he's singing, his cadence, or like whatever you want to call it, he's like, the way he speaks is so on the beat and perfect. It just like adds to that next, like, because the drumming and everything else is so perfect. When you add that cadence, it's I couldn't, like, once I started listening to it, you could not hear it.
Yeah,
he's like, nothing's out of place at all.
No.
I love it.
I really like the vocal melodies as well. I think I prefer the vocal melodies on Green Day's album as well, just because I think Billy Joe's like all these big choruses and stuff, they're just I think he's a better singer than, like, I mean, that's not what Blink's going for, obviously. Maybe Mark Hoppus a little bit more, but Billy Joe's just such a strong vocalist as well, I think.
I love anything Tom DeLonge
underappreciated.
purely because of his whiny vocals.
It's whiny, and it's good in a different way, but I think, like, from a musical perspective, I'd say Billy Joe's got it.
Brad, what's this? Oh, it's like Reading. I don't know. It's like 2011, one of their Blink gigs, and they're singing "Stay Together for the Kids." And he's like, "Here's your holiday, yo yo." Doesn't even sing.
Dude, not the
doesn't
time.
bother singing any of the lyrics.
Not the time, Tom.
So here's your holiday, yo. Here's your holiday, yo. This is like the first album where you can kind of hear it. Like on Mutt and Dysentery Garrett, the two songs I said before, like his whininess is getting there. It's getting there. It's getting to I Miss You. And then the 5-year gap that they took off, and it's just peak in like 2010. So funny. Yeah. Cool. Should we get into the segments?
Sick.
I got one more thing to say. What do you guys... Aliens Exist. I'm like... I got qualms with that song.
Why?
I don't know why.
What about it?
Because like... Okay, say the chorus. Where it's like... I know it must be like... And like the guitars just like... Just like chugging. And like the drums are just like... That on the ride cymbal and whatnot. I think it's like... It sounds really bad. And like... does it like... How'd they think that in the studio and be like... Yeah, this is sick. Next time you listen to it...
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love
that song because how ridiculous the lyrics are.
I found the same.
Yeah.
I like the lyrical. I think that's the best. Maybe Adam's song as well. They're the best like lyrics on the album. Yeah,
Man,
but I
Adam's
agree
song,
with Brad.
Adam's song, like it hits you so hard because the rest of the album is so childish. Yeah, and like all of a sudden you hear Blink do a serious song and it touches on such heavy and darker, mature themes, and you're just like, whoa, I did not expect that. Yeah. And that's why it's so good. Yeah. Like, there's shock value as well as such a brilliantly written song.
I think that's the most important song on the album because
it's
it needs that album needs it. It needs that like real song because if it didn't have it, it wouldn't be as it wouldn't stand the test of time. I don't think.
And it's funny how that song brings the shock value compared to all the other 11 songs about potty humor and all that stuff, and then you get the serious song and you're just like, wait, what? No, I didn't need this.
That's for sure.
Yeah, usually the opposite.
Wild.
Cool, let's get into the segments. Let's do Get Inked. All right, Cody, so we're going to be making some tattoo ideas from either the lyrics on these bad boys or just anything to do with the bands. Would you like to go first?
Man, I thought long and hard about getting a Dookie tattoo, and I just thought if I was to get one or make one, it would be the dog just in the plane dropping Dookie bombs, and just the lyrics above would just say, I declare I don't care no more, which is the opening lyric of Burnout and of the entire album. It's just like, yeah, you know what, fucking here's a dog dropping Dookie bombs on you in a plane. That's badass. That was my tattoo idea. That was
exactly mine for Green Day. I had the exact same one. I just didn't have the lyrics. I had the dog in the plane. What about your Blink one?
See, I decided to go super deep for this one, so to contrast it. There's a lyric from Adam's song. It's "Tomorrow holds such better days," and I just figured, like, you could paint that any way you want, but what I envisioned was like this dark, like, this dark, like. black and grey image of like a father figure or a grandpa like holding the child's hand, walking them through life's darkness, just being like, hey, tomorrow will be better, just get through today.
Nice.
Yeah, that was so beautiful. So good. Adam, what were yours? You said yours were dog shit, didn't you?
Yeah, one of mine this week might be my worst ever. It is my worst ever, like for sure. So I'll start with that one because it's that shit. So from Anthem, there's a line that goes, I time bomb, I time bomb, I time bomb, I time bomb, I time bomb. And it would just be a time bomb with the Apple logo on it because I time bomb. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
That's amazing.
Good.
But
it's also pretty bad, but it's really good.
That is incredible.
Can you imagine stumbling across someone on the street who had that tattooed and you're like, oh, Anthem by Blink. Nice.
Imagine if anyone had the brain power to recognize that as Anthem lyrics before anything else.
Yeah.
Shocking. Nice tie bomb. Yeah. What was your Green Day one?
My Green Day one is not as funny, but it was just from Longview. Just for basically him sitting on a couch, Billy Joe, with some red dusty eyes, looking into the TV and some porno mags and pizzas next to him. Just because that's kind of the whole song idea.
The premise.
So it's not nowhere near as good.
Where'd you get that large tattoo?
Another back tattoo. Mine usually just murals. Mine usually full paintings on my back.
I have a mural this week. So my Green Day one was the exact same as Cody's, the dog and like the fighter pilot. But my Blink one, so it's a back tattoo as well. It's a big one. So Party Song. It's just the entirety of the Party Song lyrics, like drawn like in a there's an artist from Newcastle called Mitch Revs. He does really cool like massive paintings. It would just be like the party song. So there's like the truck parked up out the front that they drove in. It's like a big frat house backyard. The terrible ska band out the back. Boys doing keg stands. And the girl with green eyes and long blonde hair with no underwear. And it's just a big drawing of like the whole party song. That's on your back in colour.
That'd be pretty cool.
Full colours back to rate it. Mine's pretty simple this week. I've got just for like aliens exist off the Blink album, just like on your chest. Aliens exist. Just so like if someone's like, where do you stand with like extraterrestrials and whatnot, you're like, check this out. Take your shirt off. They're like, boom, nice. And for Blink, of having a blast, I think it's a lyric that says explosives duct taped to my spine. It pretty much says itself. Just some tattoo of some explosives on your spine.
Nice, Brad. Awesome stuff, man. Time bomb. All right, cool. Let's do the fattest riff. Best part of the album, your favorite parts of the album, or it can just be the fattest riff. Cody, what do you have?
Yeah.
Dude, I've always loved the chaotic ending of Chump. Like, Chump was the first song I actually ever heard off that album, and that ending, like, when I was young, like, I was, 10 or 11 the first time I heard it, it confused me, because I'm just sitting there waiting to be like, go back to the chorus, go back to the chorus, go back to the chorus, and they never did. And it was just like, wait, what? That was cool? And, just the way that it sounds so messy, but it's actually all perfectly in time and just like a fat blast punk beat. I don't know why it stands out so much to me, but I always just like that ending to Chump and how it just goes chaotic. And you can just imagine it at shows. Imagine if I went and saw Green Day and they played that, I would be crowd killing people probably.
It is insane, that build up. Yeah. I love how it goes into Longview as well.
It would either be like, I say that, and then I think now it would either be that or the bridge to Welcome to Paradise. So much chemistry between, in the rhythm section there.
Yeah. Sounds like Dead Kennedys or something as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine would be, I just had the Longview chorus, because that is like the first time the album truly just like slows down and gets really, really fat. And is definitely one of the fatter moments. And
true.
Blink, I just had... just the going away to college intro. I just like those.
I knew you were going to do that. You love that one, Brad.
I have a soft spot for going away to college.
Yeah.
There you go.
What can I say?
Cody, what was your Blink one, real quick?
My Blink one was the intro to What's My Age Again, because that evokes so much nostalgia for me. And I know, like, in a matter of seconds, like, as soon as I hear that little guitar riff in the intro, I just like sit back and I know I'm just going to be singing along in a matter of seconds. I'm going to have that music video playing in my head, and I'll be taken back to year 6 when I first heard it, being like, yeah, Blink. So the intro to What's My Age Again.
It's great.
I love that song just because it's like, don't bore us, get to the chorus. Like the whole thing is pretty much a chorus. Pretty much both albums, actually, every song. Mine, I also did Longview, but I just did the bass riff. Like, it's just a classic. It is so good. Like, it is, to me, it's the best part of the album, for sure, that bass line. And for Blink, I did the intro to Dumpweed, because I said it before, but it just sets the tone so well. And I have the soft spot for Dumpweed like you do for Going Away to College, Brad.
I got a soft spot for Dumpweed also.
Yeah, I just love that riff. It's so good. And Adam, what's yours?
Mine for Blink was the chorus in Adam's song, just because it comes in so, like, heavy. It's like a nice contrast from the verse. And then for Green Day, I had, that little guitar riff at the end of Longview? That...
Yeah.
Just because it's like, sort of comes out of nowhere, and it's just really beautiful. So yeah, those are my two.
That is nice. I do really like that. That was also going to be like mine, because it still does the bass riff. But cool. Cool. What about your favourite songs off the album that are going in our playlist? You can find it on Spotify at the Record Royale ads. Our favourite songs from each album we've covered. Cody, 2 favourite songs, 1 from each album.
I had to think so long and hard for Dookie, because every single song to me is just priceless. But I've come to a conclusion that When I Come Around is my favourite song off that album.
Cool.
And for Enema, I've been saying it a lot, What's My Age Again? It's my favourite song off the album.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Mine for Green Day, I did Pulling Teeth.
Yes. Great song.
It's like a kind of soft rock country song a little bit. Like it's got those
It's a
kind of
sick idea
elements
as
to
well.
it.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
say that, because now I'm picturing,
Yeah.
like, in that second verse, I'm picturing slide guitar where that riff comes in.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd bang. That'd go hard.
Did you read about what that track was about?
No, what is it
It was
about?
about Mike. He was in a pillow fight with his girlfriend. And
Oh
he,
yeah,
like,
I did read that.
She
yeah.
like knocked him over and he broke both of his elbows.
Oh, shit.
God.
The song is about her beating
Both
him
your
up.
elbows.
Yeah.
Like a legit pillow fight or like a play
Oh.
pillow?
No, it was like a play pillow fight. So it's kind of like joking. The whole song is like a bit of a joke on
Both your elbows.
domestic violence, I guess.
Wow.
because breaking both your elbows, that would be incredibly painful.
I
Yeah.
didn't. Wow.
You wouldn't be able to like wipe your ass and stuff, eh?
Yeah.
That's
Just like
Fuck.
this, just all the time. Just
oh no.
Crazy.
Yeah,
and then for
that's
Blink,
crazy.
I did their biggest song ever, All the Small Things. It hit me
Yeah.
hard this week. It's just like
Yeah, same actually.
if you want to write the perfect pop song, that's the prototype. for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like that's just like
Yeah.
that's it. That's everything. The
And it's
harmonies
not-
on it, the lyrics.
It's not cheesy. Like a lot
No,
of the
it's not.
songs on there are pretty cheesy. With that song's kind of like it's like a little bit cheesy, but like in a romantic
Playful.
way.
Yeah, I mean it does have like the na 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 na, but like they make the song. So yeah, I
Yeah.
love that song. It's
Works so well.
it is a classic.
Nice.
Are you up, Adam?
Yeah, I'll go.
You done yours?
Mine for Blink would just be Adam's song, My Track. Again, just because that was the one that I went back to the most, and it's a bit heavier, which I'm a fan of. And then for Green Day, I'll say She, just because I think it needs to be in there somewhere. That's Billy Joe's favorite track from the album.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I think it's like
Sweet.
yeah, so that deserves to be in there.
Great
Nice.
track.
There you go.
Brad?
That's the way. I had Pulling Teeth as well, Sandy, so I'm gonna have to switch it up. I'll do Welcome to Paradise because that just reminds me of Surf's Up. Because it's on
Surf's Up, yes.
When
What a
like
movie.
when they first get to the island and there's big waves. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
so
man, the
good.
nostalgia.
I didn't watch
I
Surf's
love that
Up
movie.
until like 2 years ago.
I've never watched
It's
Surf's
so
Up,
good.
boys.
It's so
it was one of my one of my favorite animated
It's
movies.
very
of all
good.
time.
Dude, Surf's Up
far
also
exceeded
has
my
Holiday in the
expectations.
soundtrack. There's a bit of an
Yeah.
abundance of Green Day in that soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it works so well.
It does.
Yeah. I had Adam's song as well, Adam. So I might go Dumpweed. I think.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Dumpweed.
Good
'cause-
call. Good man.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to do
Amazing.
Dumb Way, but I was like, no, All the Small Things has to be in there. But cool. Man, there's some good tracks on both those albums. All right, Cody, I'm not sure if I told you about this next segment. 2 truths and a lie.
Oh,
Brad
really?
is up. Brad is up this week. He's going to say
I'm up.
3 statements. 2 of them are true. One's a lie. And me, you, and Adam are figuring out which one is the lie.
Are they album related? I'm guessing they are.
They are, yeah, band related. Band related.
Band related. Yeah,
Band,
not
yeah.
really album related this week.
Okay.
Righto. So, number 1. Billy Joe Armstrong received over $20,000 from Sony Interactive Studios for using his likeness on the playable character Buzz the Big Quiz. Number 2. Tom DeLonge gave Mark Hoppus a yo-yo for being one of his groomsmen at his wedding. Number 3. Billy Joe Armstrong had the nickname $2 Bill at high school because he used to sell joints for $2 in the playground.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Figure that one out.
Jeez, there's
$2 bill.
What was
quite
the
a lot to
game?
think of here.
What was the game?
Buzz,
You guys
like
ever
the
used to play
PlayStation
Buzz?
2 game.
The Australian
Yeah.
Buzz. Is that an Australian game?
Yes. We had Australian editions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't even
Any
know
questions?
where to
Any
start.
comments?
Okay, the yo-yo, the
Yeah.
yo-yo. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So
just the yo-yo?
Yeah, you go.
Just the yo-yo. That's all he got?
So it was a yo-yo from Tiffany and Co.
When did he get
How
married?
crazy is that?
When was this
I
marriage?
think it was like 2000,
2001?
2002, 2003.
2000,
Oh yeah,
2000s?
something early. Yeah.
something like that.
Early
Yeah.
2000s. Yeah, you'd think the
And
you'd think the Enema money hadn't come through yet if he's getting him a yo-yo.
Yeah.
Well, it's Tiffany and Co.
Yeah, I looked it up, like what they're worth now. They're worth like $600 now.
Hmm.
They're like sterling silver, like plated. I'm fairly sure.
That
or
is a
something.
very Tom thing to do.
It's kind of more
Yeah.
believable now that I know it's expensive as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know
fair
how
enough.
much it was back then, but yeah, I think they're.
I don't know about this Buzz game. He only got 20 grand, but like it wasn't him. So they just gave him money because they said we drew inspiration from you. Is that what happened?
Yeah, well, I read it. One of the developers was like a big Green Day fan, and they thought his like persona would be great on like a game show because he's like so like cutthroat and all that. But yeah, they were going to do it for free, but I think he like kind of hit him up, like wanted money because that shit ain't free.
And what year was this? Would have been like 2004,
5, 2006. Yeah, something.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one.
Yeah.
What was the last one again? Oh, the Billy's $2 Billy.
$2 bill. That's hilarious.
$2 bill.
$2 bill.
That. What? How old was he? Was this like all of high school? Or
Like,
what's it go?
Yeah, maybe like 14, 15, 16.
I genuinely
maybe
have
linked to
no
their
idea
name.
which one is the lie, Brad. This could be
$2
the hardest one.
Oh.
I'm taking answers as of right now.
Billy strikes me as the type who would sell joints at high school, but then again, he strikes me as the type who wouldn't bother going around being like, "Oh, you want a joint?" He'd probably be the guy like hoping he's sitting in the corner, hoping someone passes the joint completely around to him so he can have a bit.
Yeah,
but
So $2, like, what's the go there? I'm gonna say
inflation.
This is the 80s.
I'm gonna say the Buzz one is a lie.
Yeah, I'm going with that one too.
I'm saying he didn't get money from Buzz.
I'm gonna say the joint one just because I think on this album there's so many links to marijuana. And I feel like that's where Brad's thinking would be at.
I just saw Brad's big grin. It's gonna be the yo-yo.
It's gonna be the yo-yo. I'm gonna say joint though.
Oh, you going joint?
Yeah.
It's funny because Adam gets it every time.
But I
Really?
haven't.
And this week he didn't because it was the Buzz one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, congrats.
I've broken the.
I just made that up. I don't know how I come across that. I just made that up.
It's a pretty believable lie,
pretty
though.
well.
Like,
Yeah. Jeez, boy.
wow.
That's
That was
just like,
good, Brad.
have you played Buzz this week or something?
It's a good game, eh?
It is a great game. That's so funny. That is like
I don't know how.
That's the
I
best
didn't
lie
think of
yet.
that one. That is a really good one.
$20,000.
yeah. That was.
I was
going
gonna
to
do 100 grand.
More, sure.
Yeah.
That's a nice
I was going to do
spending.
100 grand, but I thought that was too much.
Yeah,
Like,
Aussies don't have
I
that
don't know.
much money.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So funny. Nice, Brad.
There
All right,
you
cool.
go.
Let's get
Actually,
into the. Let's rate these albums. So we're going out of 10, but Brad, what are our values this week?
For Blink, I've got out of 10 mutts. And for Dookie, I've got out of 10 times you would come around.
Why did you not just go with Dookies? Surely
Nah,
that's
too
the
easy.
perfect
That's too easy.
times
10
I'll come
dookies
around.
in my track pants. All right, Cody, you're gonna set this off here. What are you giving Dookie out of 10
Sweet.
times when you come around?
all right.
We'll do one album at a time.
I would come around 9.5 times out of 10 for Dookie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut you off right there. I should have told you. We don't do halves around here. Is it a 9 or is it a 10?
It's a 9.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't be too generous. It's a 9.
fair enough.
Rounded
Okay.
down. And for Enema...
Wait. We'll do one at a time. We'll do one at a time.
Sorry.
Build up the hype. Adam, what's yours?
For Dookie, I'm gonna give it 9 as well. 9 times I'll come around. Probably because it does. Like I did listen to this a lot as a youth. In fact, my MySpace page when I was like year 5 maybe, you used to be able to like attach tracks to your page, so whenever someone would visit it, they would listen. And mine was just all of Dookie. So it's a 9 from me. It's I still love this album.
Brad.
There you go.
Okay, so with Dookie, I find it more like impressive than purely enjoyable, I think. And it's because I don't have much nostalgia to it. Like if I listen to this the same time as listening to Blink and Fall Out Boy, I feel like I'd give it a much higher score. But I'm going to give it I'll give it an 8. I was going to say a 7, but I'll give it an 8 times you would, in fact, come around.
Yeah,
Nice.
cool. I'm doing the same as Brad. 8 times potentially I may come around. I think like this album did for punk rock and later like pop punk, it's like massive and you can't argue that. But I just found when I was listening back to it this week, and I've found it for the past 10 or so years I've been listening to it, I would like some more variation and experimentation, which you do find on the later Green Day albums. So they had it in them, but I just get mixed up with a few of like the deeper cuts and stuff. So yeah, but like it's still a banging album. 8 out of 10 times.
The singles,
around.
every single is so good.
Yeah,
like so good.
The vocal hooks are just
Yeah.
amazing. All right, Cody.
Yeah.
What are you giving Blink out of 10 mutts?
Blink gets 8 out of 10 mutts for Enema of the State.
Yeah.
Brilliant album. Like, I reckon, yeah, like I said, Travis is a huge, huge asset to that band when he joined. It definitely sets the bar, like, from their last 2 albums and, you know, projected them into the career that they later on went on to. It's a brilliant album, but, I mean, I got to stick true to the Green Day bias. It doesn't quite do it past Dookie for me, so Blink gets 8.
Cool. Adam?
Nice.
I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. I love this album, but some of the probably just because I didn't listen to this as a teenager, so a lot of the cheesiness just doesn't it just doesn't resonate with me. Probably the same that it does with you guys. Some of the jokes and stuff, but then it's got songs like Adam's song, and I even really like Aliens Exist, except that chorus part, but. Yeah, songs like I just really didn't get into like the party song at all or Dysentery Gary. They were sort of lower than the low tracks on Green Day's album for me. So there you go.
8 mutts. All right, Bradley.
Yeah, I'm going to follow Adam on this one. I'm going to go 8 mutt out of 10. Yeah, I just think this is my favourite version of Blink. I think it's their best album. I think I like them the most when they're having the most fun, when they're playing the fastest possible, and you can see that in that live album and their live shows, and they just did not care, which is what I love about it. So yeah, I'm going to go 8 mutts out of 10.
Cool. I'm going to give it 9 mutts out of 10. I always thought Dude Ranch or the self-titled, untitled, whatever we're going to call it, was my favourite Blink album, but like, this is it. This is like the Blink album. Like pretty much what you said, Brad. It's just the playfulness. I love it. It's not for everyone, but I love it. And it just, like Dookie, it just sums up the time it was written in and like a time in people's lives. And I just love it. So yeah, I'm giving it 9 mutts. And that, my friends, means Dookie wins by 1. 34 out of 40 to 33 out of 40. The 3 8s and 1 9. Didn't get the 2 9s and 2 8s. That is cool. Hey, the past 3 episodes have been very, very toit. But Dookie wins, and I'm not complaining. I gave Blink better, but like, no qualms here at all. Green Day
feels good.
Dookie in episode 12. Dookie. Dookie. Man, that was I love it. Like these are the 2 albums that we had to do eventually, but Cody just brought them in, which was nice. But we had to do them. So I'm so stoked. Hey, Cody, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad I could nerd out about these 2 albums with you guys.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Everyone check out Until You Feel Alright, down for tomorrow's new single. Next week on the show, we got, Brad, you chose these 2. We got The Avalanches, Since I Left You, is going up against Jamie XX In Colour.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 16 years apart, but still in that same realm, I'd say.
I think they're in the same realm for sure. Yeah. Different times,
first Aussie album.
Yeah, we've done Australian albums pretty dirty because this is the first Aussie album and we've done this for 3 months now. But it feels right. It feels right to be finally doing an Australian album. Hey, we got big plans for Australian Music Month in November, but we'll get to that down the line. Thanks so much. Check out us on the socials at Record Royale. Find us. Let us know what you think. Get in touch with the polls. Check out Cody and Down for Tomorrow. They're killing it at the moment with their new stuff, and there'll be more to come from them, especially when shows are back open. All right, we'll see you next week for Avalanches and Jamie XX. See you guys. Thanks so much.
See ya. Thanks, Cody.
Bye.
Thanks, Cody. Bye.
Cheers.